What's up, guys? This is Rob of Black Hill Woodwork, and in today's video we're going to be turning 3 quick projects that sell. Project number 1 is going to be a Christmas tree. Just get yourself a little branch or a log. Make sure it's dry. I mean, you can use green wood, but because we're using a log and the pith is right in the middle, if it's too green, it'll just crack the whole way. And trust me, I'm saying that through experience. For the Christmas tree, we're going to be using a faceplate, and there's no chuck needed. Okay, we got the faceplate on. Let's put it on the lathe. Make sure it's nice and tight. As you can see, it's very out of balance, but that's okay. With the Christmas tree, we're going to be cutting away a lot of material anyway. For the most accurate pinpoint of the tailstock, finding the center, you actually want to have your lathe running when you advance it. I'm going to chisel off some of this bark just because I've used this wood before, and I know that this thing just flies off, and when it hits you, it does not feel good. You know, some of you guys might be thinking, oh, he said use dry wood. I can't find any dry wood around me. I used to have that same problem. You don't have a kiln, or you don't want to wait years for a piece to dry. I actually found this at a grocery store. It was being sold as firewood. I've never seen firewood being sold just logs. Usually it's cut up, but it's kiln dried, and it turns really nice. This is white birch. So yeah, maybe just check out your local grocery stores, and they might have some good dried wood for you to turn. So first, let's just take some material off. Another thing I wanted to talk about is that me personally, I used to think Christmas trees would never sell unless it was wintertime or getting close to Christmas. But I'm telling you guys that is not true. People buy Christmas trees all the time. All right, we're gonna start the lathe. We're gonna be running at 1,000 RPMs. I'm using my roughing gouge for now, just because it's very out of balance, as you can see. But you could also use your bowl gouge or whatever. Okay, now I'm going to mark out the base, the tree trunk, and then the tree itself. I know that looks confusing, but this is going to be the base, this little sliver. This is going to be the trunk, and then this is going to be the tree. So now get your bowl gouge out and start shaping the tree. I'm going to use my parting tool just to make the lines a little deeper, so I know exactly where the trunk is and where the base is. And I think I'll also be shaping the trunk just a little bit. Okay, now it should be a little bit easier for you guys to tell what's going on. Trunk, base, tree. And now just get your bowl gouge out and make your tree your own, you know? Obviously this is a flat spot right here, so I'm gonna have to cut away a little bit more. Might have to adjust the size of the trunk. I'm gonna keep the base like this with a natural edge. I'm not gonna be messing around with that. I think it looks nicer with a little bit of bark on it and a nice natural shape to it. But everything else, let's just cut this down. Cut it all to size. Looks good. I'm going to disconnect the tailstock. Be very gentle over here because it's very flimsy. Okay. So there's multiple ways of making, well, first off, you could just leave it like this. You could sand it, cut this off with a saw, and you're done. Put some finish on it. But we're gonna do a little decorative piece to it, or a decorative part. Just gonna get my parting tool and make some indents. And be very careful the closer you get over here. You do not want to snap this off. Okay, looks good. Now let's sand it 80 to 400 grit. Okay, we're all done sanding. Looks good. We're gonna use our parting tool just a little bit more, and then our handsaw to get this thing off. Don't go too far with this, because if you cut through the whole thing, it's gonna fly right at you. Okay. All right, it's cut. Here's the tree. I'm gonna go sand the bottom off, and then put some finish on it. So we just finished sanding the bottom, nice and smooth. Here's what it's looking like. Put some finish on it. Gonna be using Tried and True's Original. Here it is after the finish. In 15 minutes, I'll buff it off with just another paper towel. Get off all the excess oil. But this is it, it's done. Cool, quick little project that anybody could really do. I'm telling you, these really do sell. All right, time for our second project. Second project, super quick. It's gonna be a vase. We're gonna be connecting this with the faceplate, and no chuck is needed for this project either. All right, we got all the bark off. Now let's start turning. We're just gonna be doing the shape. It's not gonna be a very big vase. Obviously, big vases are gonna take a lot more than 10 minutes. So this is gonna be a nice little small vase. And people love these small vases. People buy them all the time. They put one little flower in it, two little flowers. Not a big, long, huge vase where you put a bouquet in it. Small little vase, let's go. Okay, it's almost all completely circular. Yes, this piece of wood has a lot of cracks. Hopefully you guys are using wood that doesn't have too many cracks. I'm going to be shaving a lot of this down, so maybe these will go away. But if not, it's okay. I don't mind cracks. You could fill them if you want, but I don't care too much. Now we're just going to do the shape of your vase. You guys could do the shape that I'm making, or you can make your own shape. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Did not think that this piece of wood would have this many cracks. This is more of a demonstration on what ideas, you know, some wood turning ideas for you guys to try out. So I'm not too stressed out about it, but my God, those are a lot of cracks. I'm gonna work on the bottom, and then I'm actually gonna fill these up with some sawdust and some CA glue. And then we'll do the inside. Okay, well, hopefully you guys don't have the issue that I'm having right now with these cracks. Because if you don't, you could obviously just skip this part. But I will be filling up all these cracks with some CA glue and some sawdust, like I already said. Okay, we're done with filling the cracks. It's not gonna be the prettiest vase, but hopefully you guys don't have this issue. I think it'll still look pretty nice. So now let's hollow out the inside. And this is the part that makes it much quicker than other vases that you see on YouTube. We're not gonna be hollowing out the whole thing. We're gonna be using this tool called the Jacob's chuck. If you guys don't have the Jacob's chuck or a Jacob's chuck, I would highly recommend buying one. It's not only good for making vases, but just hollowing out any kind of, I wouldn't say a bowl, but any kind of spindle work, candle holders, vases, anything that you need a hole straight in the middle of something, a Jacob's chuck is a very good buy. And if you don't have one, it's okay. There's other ways to hollow it out. Just use your bowl gouge. Before we use the Jacob's chuck to hollow it out, we have to make sure that the top is completely flat. So we're gonna take this nub off. Okay, nice and flat. Here's what the Jacob's chuck looks like. I'm gonna put it right here in the tailstock. We're gonna be using 3 Forstner bits, going from, you know, this size, very small, to the biggest size. So now we're gonna do a little angle right here on the edge, just to give it the effect like it's deeper than it really is. It'll make it look like it's completely hollow, when in reality, it's not. But it's still pretty hollow, so don't worry. It's not like we're not making a good vase. I mean, this thing is decently hollow. Okay, we're done with that. Now let's sand it again from 80 to 400 grit. Okay, we're done sanding. Obviously this piece has all these cracks and it just doesn't look good. Obviously, this is more for a demonstration purpose. I probably wouldn't be selling this exact vase unless somebody's looking for a really rugged looking vase. I don't know. But, so now we're just gonna part it off with the parting tool, not all the way, just like before, then use our handsaw and cut it off. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and sand the bottom. Bottom's all done. Now we're just adding the finish, same finish as before. You know, I'm kind of weird when it comes to cracks. I think cracks are actually pretty cool. So me personally, I actually like this vase a lot with all these cracks. I think it adds a lot of style to it. But, I don't know, everybody has their own opinions when it comes to cracks. Okay, just like the Christmas tree, 15 minutes, we'll wipe it off. All right, and our third and last project, it's gonna be probably the fastest project that we can make out of the 3, and it's gonna be a candle holder. So this is just a random piece of wood. I think it'll look pretty cool with all these bug holes in them. Oh, this piece just came off. That's okay. You're not gonna need a chuck for this one either. I think the quickest pieces you can make are ones where you don't have to flip them over, make a tenon and do all this and that. You could just connect it with the faceplate, put it on, turn it, and cut it off. So all 3 of the projects in this video are just gonna be like that. Okay, I think I said this before, but this will definitely be the most simple project out of the 3. I didn't start making these until way later in my wood turning career, I guess you could call it. And these are so simple to make, so fast to make, and people love them. So basically, our first step is we're gonna be getting our parting tool. And I'm just gonna be making a nice deep cut right over here. Once I do that, we're just gonna make a sphere. We're gonna cut it towards that cut. We're gonna round out this side as well. And then we'll make the actual part where you put the candle in it. I know that sounds probably very confusing, but once we get started, you'll see. Okay, we made that. And you guys could round this out, round out the edges before actually making that cut. Probably would be a little bit safer. And if you're not very experienced with making this, this kind of piece, I actually would recommend first rounding it out. But now we're just gonna be making some cuts and making it as circular as we can. All right, well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This piece that I'm working with is very rotten. I would be using a better piece if I was gonna sell it, but I just wanted to show you guys a quick demo. Plus, I actually thought that these holes would be pretty cool. But to the point, this whole side just flew off. So it's gonna be a little smaller than I wanted it to be, but it's okay. It's still the same thing, just make it circular. So we finished with the top right here, getting that piece off. Now just get your parting tool. We're gonna make some cuts just like this. And we're gonna keep going until it fits one of these. So keep these on hand and just keep on trying until it fits. I would say that's perfect for the actual fit. We just have to go much deeper. A little bit deeper. All right, that fits perfectly. So now we're gonna be sanding from 80 to 400, just like the other two pieces. You guys might be wondering, why is all my wood all rotten and all messed up? The answer to that is I have no idea. So choose better wood for these projects if you wanna sell them. I think it'll still look pretty cool with all these bug holes and everything. That's just my kind of style. But obviously if you guys want these projects with no imperfections, then pick wood with no imperfections. So let's start sanding. It'll be the same process like the other two, 80 to 400. We're gonna use a parting tool, then the handsaw, sand the bottom, put the finish on. Just finished sanding the bottom. Let's put some tried and true on it. Watch that grain pop. And guys, don't worry if you can't turn these in 10 minutes. Obviously, the more you wood turn, the better you'll get, and the faster you guys will do it. Realistically, even just the sanding part probably takes 10 minutes. So if the title does say 10-minute projects, which I think it will, basically just talking about the turning process, not like setting it up and this and that. Wood turning takes some patience, it takes time. There's not one single project from start to finish, that will take 10 minutes. It's just too short. But once you guys get better at wood turning, it's not impossible to turn something like this in 10 minutes. But yeah, here's what it looks like. I'm going to take it inside with the other two pieces and show you guys the final results. If you guys enjoyed the video and you stayed this far, thank you, appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for future videos.